Pride Month is officially underway and we're 10 days in. The cost of living for everything is up versus 4 years ago. Idaho has a pronoun controversy. Let's talk about that. Plus, let's talk about Caitlin Clark from Iowa, who's now playing with the Indiana Fever for the WNBA. Let's talk about that right after this. This is Raw and Real Politics. And welcome to Raw Real Politics, where we the people have had enough podcast. I'm your host, Ty Jensen. Happy Monday, June 10th, 2024. And like I said, we have a lot to talk about. And hop in the comments. I would love to hear the comments, and I'd love to bring them up on screen and have you be part of the conversation, because the only way we're going to advance as a society is to be a part of that conversation. There should be no more lag time, no more keeping quiet. No. We are far, far, far past that, especially in today's age of 2024. So let's begin this program. Very easy, very simple. And I want to know from you, the people, in the comments, if you're not going to join us live. I know it's really early in the morning right now. It is 1:24 a.m. in the morning Mountain Time, and we should be doing this audio podcast later. But you know what? We're coming to you right now. However, let's talk about this. Listen, Pride Month is obviously upon us, but have you noticed this year, among all years, that the left, especially the Rainbow Warriors of the LGBTQ plus community, have you noticed something about them? And I want to know what your thoughts. Have you noticed one thing and one thing only, and that they are really, really quiet? Now let's talk about this. Why are they so quiet this year? Usually they're ramming and cramming every damn little thing they can, from rubbing fake dildos in kids' faces, having strippers in the parade, going down a street full of innocent people, drag queens and drag shows that are on open display, and they're not afraid to sit here and show that. The problem is they used to be overzealous about it, but the good part is now they have seemed to be quiet. Is this a Twilight Zone? Am I in another dimension? Did we ultimately skip galaxies? Did we exit the Milky Way and enter the Andromeda Galaxy, which could be completely opposite of us? We don't know. But what we do know, and what we are seeing right now, is that Pride Month has been silenced for the rainbow community. Now, I'm okay with that. You're probably okay with that. If you're on this podcast, you know this is a conservative network. You know this is a conservative show. You know exactly how we feel. We're just unfiltered about it. But in reality, pride and the authoritarianism of the Pride Month has now become desolate, silenced, non-existent. Usually every headline, every column, every bit of a newspaper, pride this, pride that. We got to support the Rainbow Warriors. We got to bow down to the Rainbow Mafia. We got to do this. We got to do that. And we got to kiss the ass and kiss the rings of the influencers of those pride events and the Pride Month. Problem is, where the Sam shit in hell did they go? Actually, I'm okay with it, because it has been really, really nice to not have to hear them cram down our damn throats. And I want to know what you guys are thinking about this, because it's obviously really, really nice not to have them cram that bullshit down our throat. Right? Or is it just me? I want to know what you guys are thinking in the comments below, but I think it's really nice. However, I want to know what's happening in your state and in your city, in your major cities. Are pride events happening? Is it still the spectacle, creation of delusion that we are seeing, or is it just normal now and you kind of are numb to it because they have rammed it down our damn throats for so damn long? Or is it kind of nice to have the silence for once? I know this is an election year, I know that Donald Trump is going to be on the ballot. We know Joe Biden, their savior, is going to be on the ballot. But it seems like the Pride event has really just been silenced. And I want to know what your take. I want to know your thoughts in the comments below, or if you want to join me live right here on the stream, feel free to leave your comments so we can read it on the air right now. But I want to know really what your take is. I mean, for me, silence is golden, and this is a golden opportunity for us not to have it crammed down our throats, especially as human being. I don't care if you're male or female, there's only two genders. But if you're going to sit here and take a fake penis and rub it around on the outskirts of your clothes in front of kids, you're a pervert and a pedophile. If you're going to sit here and dress in fake tatas and wave them around and think that it's cool in front of kids, again, you're a pervert and you're a pedophile. If you're going to sit here and read uneducational books that are influencing, that are, how would we say, indoctrinational into the nuance of basically indoctrination of the psyche of these youthful kids, well, you are a pervert and you are a pedo. And there's no other way to put that. But I'm going to speak up for everybody, especially here in my state. It has been a godsend that this is not crammed down our throat. And for once, silence is actually golden. I'm not hearing or seeing every YouTube video, every Twitter feed, every Rumble, every other platform of social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm not seeing the overzealousness of Pride Month for once. Of course, this is only the 10th of June. We still got 20 more days to go, and God forbid. But we do not have that. Not this month, at least not yet, and it could change. And if it does change, obviously it's going to come right here on Raw and Real Politics. We the people have had enough podcast. And I'm going to shout out to whoever wants to make amends or a comment above this. But leading on to this Pride Month segment is the controversy coming out of the state of Idaho and their Idaho legislature, who passed basically and well, it's really not an anti-LGBTQ plus bill. It really is Save the Children bill, is what I'm going to call it. It's basically a Save the Children bill to where teachers are not going to go along to get along with the Rainbow Mafia and have these he, her, she, them, all these other stupid pronoun bullshit, you know, he, him, she, her, they, them, whatever you want to call it, the it mafia, the it crew. We're no longer having that in our society as far as conversations in the state of Idaho, because it will not be allowed into the curriculum or the teacher's educational packets or the syllabuses of the curriculum of the whole state of Idaho for the educational purposes for the 2024-25 school year. Hallelujah, thank the Lord. We should no longer have these stupid pronouns in our schools, because here's the biggest problem and takeaway with that. We the people, right? You and I, we sit here, we pay for literally everything. Everything. It doesn't matter. Public schools, especially, are taxpayer funded. Whether you own a mortgage or you have your house paid off, doesn't matter. You still got to pay your county taxes, and a portion of those taxes go to the school district, right? We pay federal dollars. Well, 9% of federal dollars go towards the Department of Education, which allocates money throughout the whole 50 states and even to the territories. We know that. And once we take that money away, which we really have to take that money away from the Department of Education and the Department of Public Education through K through 12, we need to get the federal government out of that. And that's a whole story for a whole another day. But I am really happy to see the state of Idaho standing up for its conservative policies and its conservative takes to say, we're not going to be like the coastal elites. We're not going to be follow laws like Oregon and Washington. We're not going to go kick the can down the road like the trash that is California. And if you live in California, I apologize. I am sorry for you. I feel bad for you. First of all, you need to get the hell out of there. Just get the Sam hell out of California. If you're a Republican or an independent who's right conservatively, why are you still in California? Get out of there. Get out of there as fast as you can. It's not doing you any favors. Actually, with all the property taxes, with all the state and federal income tax that has to go into that state, you would be doing yourself a wonder of good if you got the hell out of there and you came to places like Arizona, Utah. If you wanted to go to Idaho, and there's talk about a new state of Jefferson, or just the absorption of parts of Northern California and Eastern Oregon into the state of Idaho. That could be a possibility, but I really doubt it's going to get to that, and that's the story for another day as well. But the thing is, if you live in California, if you live in Illinois, if you live in New York, and you're a conservative or a Republican or an independent who doesn't want to go along with these authoritarian, draconian ways of the left and dealing with the high inflationary cost of goods and services in those states due to tax policy and regulations, get the hell out of there, man. We would all love to have you, because we know that you're going to align with us freedom fighters and us free thinkers that are going to be like, hey, listen, all these policies that are happening along the coastal states that just aren't working for us, yeah, we're going to bounce. There's no shame in just saying, you know what, fuck it, we're out. That's my one F word for the episode. Anyway, I apologize for that, but that's really how we all feel. F it. Why are we going to keep this kicking the can down the road in these coastal elites, especially with pronouns and these overexpressions of pride everywhere, 24/7, regardless if it's Pride Month or not? When are these Democrats going to learn that you can't tax the people to death? That people want to live. They want to have freedom of speech. They want to have freedom of liberty. They want to have freedom of movement. They want to have freedoms. Holy shit, back in the Revolutionary War, we started that war over a 2% tax. And if you live in California or Oregon, or if you live in Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, anywhere else around the United States that is a left-leaning or liberal state, you're getting taxed out in the ass. That's not fair to you. So if you want to move, we support you moving, and we would love for you just to pack your shit and get the hell out of there as fast as you can. But this Idaho controversy is actually very good for not the state of Idaho. I think it could be a precursor for everybody. Obviously, Florida has their bills. Utah's hopefully going to get their bills soon because they are a red state and I live here. I really hope that Texas gets on board, Tennessee, and we keep on adding, so that we don't fall into a nation of destruction anymore. And that would be the best thing for us. We can no longer keep this road to destruction. Anyway, I want to know what your thoughts there are in the comments below. But here's what's really, really crazy, and this is leading to our third segment here, is the cost of living, of not just living without pay raises, but the cost of goods and services that's going on in the United States. There's a lot of people in California that are loving this whole Gavin Newsom signing the bill of the $20 minimum wage. I do not agree with minimum wage, just because it forces every business to go along to get along and one world order and all that stuff. And you can call me crazy. You leave your comments and be like, "Oh, you're a whack job," down in the comments for not wanting a $20, minimum wage. But honestly, if you think about it, we go through these $20 an hour jobs. What jobs are they? They're the food sector. They are the customer service sector. They are the retail sectors that really most people do not want to work in, but there's an overabundance of jobs in those sectors that are not turnovers. Okay? Nobody's going to sit here and give up their day desk job to go work at retail. It's just not going to happen. And so they have to ante up those low-income sectors, especially with the service sectors and the customer service sectors and the food sector. They have to put the ante up to make sure they have a livable wage. But for the rest of us, that doesn't help. It's just batshit crazy that it really does not help. It doesn't help the average American. But let me ask you, do places need to pay a lot more money? Absolutely. There's no question of that. People need to pay an honest to God, good cost of living. And we all agree with that. The problem is, when it comes to cost of goods and services, especially over the last 4 years, we actually have the numbers right here in front of us. We have the numbers. So let's talk gasoline. Let's talk about petrol. And everybody, we have to have petrol. So the cost of petrol, when Trump left office, and this was in December of 2020, right before he left office, the average gallon of gas around the United States was $2.17. Now, the average cost of a gallon of gas around the United States is $3.78. $3.78 for a gallon of gas. That is a big, significant jump, especially for the average American. Now, if we want to go to other things like utilities for gas, that has also went up to where it was, when Trump left office, it was a simple $1.11 per diem, per thermal unit. Now that thermal unit is somewhere around $1.38. So not a huge jump, but it's still a huge jump. But at its peak during this administration, it was $1.92, which is a significant jump. A very big, like almost a 45% jump. And that's just in gas. So electricity hasn't went up that bad. We've kind of kept the grid right where we need it to be. But now if you look at other things, you look at orange juice, for instance. Orange juices went up about 15%. Not just that. Let's talk about bananas. Not that big of a jump. Let's go down here with bread. White bread has jumped up from the average cost in 2020 was around $1.52 per loaf of bread. The same loaf of bread today is $2.10. Okay, almost $1 more, or 60 cents more. And that's just bread. But has your check increased 60 cents over the last 4 years? Maybe, maybe not. But you can obviously leave that comment in the comment below. But chicken, let's talk about chicken. That's went up a little bit, but it's up a lot higher than you would think. It went up another 30%. Okay, ground beef. Now here's the big one when it comes to ground beef. Ground beef has soared. Okay, from the average price back in 2020 was $4.21 per pound for 100% ground beef. Now that's not 80-20, that's not 93-7, that's just 100% beef. Now the average price of that same beef is $5.35. And this is coming from the U.S. Food, Goods, and Services. This is crazy, y'all. Milk. The thing that most mothers need, for their kids, for cereal in the morning. The average cost of a gallon of milk was $3.43. In 2024, when April is now $5.86. That is a big jump just for a gallon of milk. But what else is with milk? Mozzarella cheese you can make whole milk from. obviously. There's other cheese you can sit here and make milk from. What about cottage cheese? So the cost of dairy alone has exponentially rose because they're byproducts of the actual milk. So when milk goes up, a lot of other things go up. But here's the biggest thing when it comes down to it. It comes down to gas. When gas rises, everything rises. We both know that. Both you, the listener, and me, we all know that when gas goes up, everything goes up. So when President Trump goes back in to the White House, God willing, when he goes back in January 2025, will the price of gas come down? And we all hope it will. But what are your thoughts to show that it will come down? All right. Again, feel free to leave a comment because I would love to reply to those comments. I would love to actually have you come on the show. And this is a show that's going to be on Monday through Friday. And like today, it's almost 2 a.m. in the morning on a Monday, June 10th. But a lot of days we're going to be doing this during the day. We might do another segment because, the more the merrier. We want to promote this channel so that we the people, have the best voice and the best chance for us for a future. And that's it. But for the last segment, I really want to get into this one. And this is the thing that I don't understand. And maybe help me out. We're going to dive into the sports world for a split second. Because this is not just a sports issue. This is a cultural and a social issue. And we've always said it raw and real. We always want to talk political, social, and cultural topics inside these podcasts, inside our shows. And one of the ways we do that is we bring it to the forefront. But Caitlin Clark, we all know her. She was the standout guard on the women's basketball program that can shoot lights out like Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors. This little white girl, and I hate saying that, but that's what she is. She's a little white girl from the middle of nowhere, middle of the country, which most of the country does not respect because a lot of the population in the United States lives along the coastal line. But here's this girl from middle America shooting up Steph Curry range threes and draining them, which led to national prominence. And now, after being drafted number 1 in the WNBA that nobody watches to this day, except for her and the rise of her and her alone, okay? You can sit here and say whatever you guys want, but it hasn't been Angel Reese, who's another rookie in the WNBA. It hasn't been Caitlin Clark's former teammate, even though she's a little cutie who plays for Las Vegas in Kate Martin, okay? Hasn't been that tall, blonde bombshell down in L.A. Hasn't been any of them or anybody else. But Caitlin Clark, for all of her amazing talents, was left off the United States Olympic basketball team for the women. And we're all saying, well, it's because they're jealous. Okay, jealousy, pays the price, and, now Caitlin's paying for that. But why? It's because she brings the star power, she brings the asses to the seats, she brings the marketing ability to the game. And a lot of these ladies that have been there for 20 years, or 10 years, or whatever it may be, like Diana Taurasi, who's now 41 years old, has not brought and got the asses in the seats. And so they're looking at this young rookie who's a phenom already, who's coming into the league and saying, oh man, she's bringing in all this money. She's bringing a sellout crowds, by the way, and almost everywhere she goes, record-breaking crowds. She's brought a whole new audience and viewership and sense of eyes to a game that was dead, who was subsidized by its mainstay, the NBA, the National Basketball Association. The WNBA is a foregone conclusion of DOS, dead on scene, DOA, dead on arrival. It was never supposed to be this great. But here comes the little girl from Iowa, right? Plays for the Hawkeyes, shoots lights out, gets drafted number 1 in the WNBA, who rejected the big three from Ice Cube of $5 million, and then turned around, got signed again, not through NIL money, but now through full-fledged endorsements through Nike of a $28 million shoe deal, and all these other players in the WNBA are pissed. This is about rage. This is about jealousy. This is about nepotism. This is about egos. And all Caitlin Clark has done has been nothing but a sweetheart. Has she been a little bit of a pushover on the floor? Absolutely. She needs to toughen up a little bit, push a little bit back. But have they targeted her? Absolutely. But what she has done for the game and the recognition for women's sports and women's identity, especially for 2024, has been remarkable. We should be giving her her roses, not just little flowers. We should be sending her full-on roses. And congratulations to Caitlin Clark. She just got engaged, by the way. But what the hell is going through these women's skulls right now? They're sitting here saying, well, we're just going to be really pissed at her because, she's outshining us. Well, no shit. Of course she's going to outshine you. But anyway, I want to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, especially comment so we can reply. Don't forget to catch our show Monday through Friday. But this is where we're going to leave today's show off. And if we hop back on here, we'll be glad to hop back on here. This is the audio cast of Raw Real Politics. We, the people, have had a podcast. Anyway, come join the conversation. Let's make this country amazing again. And the only way we can do that is together. Anyway, this has been Raw Real Politics. I'm your host, Todd Jensen. Thank you for listening. Happy Monday. This is June 10th, 2024, and we will catch you next time. Thank you for listening.